Hey everyone, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, this time bringing you guys another video on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. In this video, we will be covering the next upcoming Lost Chapters going live soon on Global Opera Omnia, featuring the return of Rosa from Final Fantasy IV. Joining Rosa as synergy for this Lost Chapters will be Sabin and Yuri. The topics covered on this video will be Rosa and Sabin's level 70 awakenings and reworks, the banner featuring the rerun of Rosa's EX weapon and the debut of Sabin's EX weapon, Rosa and Sabin's realized EX weapons, and as well as the Chaos version of the boss fight featuring the return of the two Crust Beetles. Just another friendly reminder when watching, every skill, passive, buff, and debuff that I cover for these characters are assuming you have every piece of equipment passive unlocked, as I want to show these characters at their maximum potential. Without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Rosa's Lost Chapter. Rosa, the beautiful white mage from Final Fantasy IV, returns to Global Opera Omnia. On her initial release, Rosa was well known for her powerful auras, great brave battery, and the ability to re-raise any of your KO'd party members. With her level 70 awakening, Rosa unlocks her C65 ability called Attack All, which increases the entire party's attack and brave overflow by 10% for 5 turns, and as well as her C68 passive, which permanently increases the party's attack and max brave by 10%. Her rework gives her some slight upgrades to her Skill 1 and Skill 2. Her Skill 1 Divine Blast gains 1 additional usage, Brave Damage Potency increased to 360%, and a 120% Brave Overflow. Her Skill 2 Prayer now allows the effects of Rosa's Prayer to stay active if either her HP is 50% or less, or 80% or greater. It also now adds an HP regen effect to the unique buff re-raise, which is based on 5% of max HP. While it may seem that these are just slight upgrades, Rosa's auras and utility was already powerful, and these additions give her a little more oomph as a support character. Recommended artifacts for Rosa are Devoted White Mage Boost 2-star and Attack plus 108. Sabin is our next topic, as he also receives a level 70 awakening and rework with Rosa's Lost Chapters. With his awakening, he unlocks his C65 ability called Set Powers Unleashed, which grants him 4 stacks of his unique buff, Powers Unleashed, and increases his attack by 30% for 8 turns. His C68 passive permanently increases his attack and max brave by 20%. His rework granted him a much-needed upgrade. To start things off, he now has access to a brand new unique buff called Powers Unleashed. Powers Unleashed is stackable up to 4 stacks, has an 8-turn duration, increases Sabin's attack by 60%, increases Sabin's max brave by 40%, changes his brave attack to brave attack plus, and changes his HP attack plus to HP attack plus plus. At 3 or more stacks, it also changes his Skill 1 Aura Cannon and Skill 2 Razor Gale into their plus variants. With his rework, both of his skills get massively upgraded. To start things off, his Skill 1 Aura Cannon gets Brave Hits increased to 4, Brave Damage Potency increased to 320%, 120% Brave Overflow, 50% HP splash damage to other targets, inflicts Wind and Holy Imperil to all enemies for 4 turns, and grants 1 stack of Powers Unleashed for 8 turns. Aura Cannon Plus, which is unlocked at 3 or more stacks of Powers Unleashed, allows the Brave Hits to ignore defense, increases the Brave Overflow to 180%, and heals Sabin's own Brave by 50% of the HP damage he deals to the main target. However, this plus variant does not grant any stacks of Powers Unleashed and consumes 2 stacks of it after usage. His Brave Attack Plus with Powers Unleashed changes its melee properties to magic, increases its Brave to 2 hits, increases its Brave Damage Potency to 180%, and increases a currently active Powers Unleashed by 1 stack. Moving on to his Skill 2 Razor Gale, the rework upgrades it with increased Brave Hits to 4, increased Brave Damage Potency to 200%, 150% Brave Overflow, inflicts Wind and Holy Imperil to all enemies for 4 turns, grants Sabin 40% max Brave Up for 8 turns, grants 1 stack of Powers Unleashed for 8 turns, and allows the HP damage of the skill to be AoE with the damage being split amongst multiple targets. Razor Gale Plus, which is unlocked at 3 or more stacks of Powers Unleashed, allows the Brave Hits to ignore defense, increases the Brave Overflow to 200%, and delays all enemies by 1 turn. Keep in mind though, just like Aura Cannon Plus, you do not gain any Power Unleashed stacks, and it consumes 2 stacks of it after usage. Overall, this is a massive upgrade to Sabin, who initially was a very average niche damage dealing unit. Recommended artifact passes for Sabin are Attack plus 108 and Max Brave plus 330. Rosa's Lost Chapter brings us a brand new banner featuring a rerun of Rosa's gear, a rerun of both Sabin and Yuri's 15 and 35 CP weapons, and the debut of Sabin's EX weapon. Here's a quick refresher on Rosa's EX weapon prior to its realization. It equips her with the EX ability Luminous Arrow, which is a 4-hit, non-elemental, magic AoE Brave plus single target HP attack with its power amplified by 1.6 times against a single target. It has a 150% Brave Overflow, a 320% Brave Damage Potency, heals all allies Brave by 20% of the HP damage dealt, and grants Rosa a free ability usage next turn. Upon realizing her EX weapon, she gets the following: 0 out of 3 increases Brave Overflow to 180%, now heals the party's HP by 50% of the HP damage dealt by Luminous Arrow up to 20% of max HP, and while Rosa's Prayer is active, changes HP Attack Plus to HP Attack Plus Plus. 1 out of 3 grants Rosa a unique buff called Miraculous Light for 4 turns, which while active on Rosa, increases the party's Brave Overflow by 20% and a party regen based on 80% of initial Brave. 2 out of 3 permanently increases Rosa's attack and max Brave by 40% and also allows her to start the quest with Rosa's Prayer for 10 turns. Finally, 3 out of 3 increases Luminous Arrow's Brave Damage Potency to 480% and now deals 50% HP splash damage to other targets. The C-type sphere unlocked from Rosa's EX weapon is called Break Hit HP Regen Long, which when equipped on a character, restores the party's HP at 3% of max HP per turn for 6 turns whenever that character breaks or attacks a broken target. Keep in mind though, this effect cannot stack and is only available with 1 copy. Sabin's EX weapon, prior to realization, equips him with the EX ability Phantom Rush, which is a 4-hit Wind and Holy Magic single target Brave plus single target HP attack executed twice. It inflicts Wind and Holy Imperil for 4 turns after the first HP attack, grants 1 stack of Powers Unleashed for 8 turns, and grants a new unique buff called Inherited Techniques for 8 turns, which increases Sabin's attack by 30%, increases Sabin's Brave Overflow by 20%, and grants Sabin Wind and Holy Elements to all of his Brave hits. It also changes his HP attack to HP Attack Plus. At 3 stacks or more of Powers Unleashed, Phantom Rush changes to Phantom Rush Plus, which allows the Brave hits to ignore defense. Upon realizing Sabin's EX weapon, it gets the following upgrades. 0 out of 3 allows a 120% Brave Overflow to Phantom Rush, and a 150% Brave Overflow to Phantom Rush Plus. 1 out of 3 allows Sabin to start the quest with Inherited Techniques for 8 turns. 2 out of 3 permanently increases Sabin's attack and max Brave by 20% and also changes HP attack to HP Attack Plus Plus while Powers Unleashed is active. Finally, 3 out of 3 allows both Phantom Rush and its Plus variant to execute 3 5-hit Wind and Holy Magic, single target Brave plus single target HP attacks, and increases its Brave Damage Potency to 600%. The A-type sphere unlocked from Sabin's EX weapon is called Critical Boost Long, which when equipped to a character, raises max Brave by 10% for 6 turns when dealing critical hits. Knowing what both of these weapons offer, is this banner worth your gems or tickets? Undoubtedly, the ultimate prize of this banner is Rosa's EX weapon. While her rework didn't seem too spectacular on paper, she was already very powerful, and adding her fully realized EX weapon massively increases her utility as a support character. Rosa has powerful auras, various Brave Battery options, re-raise, free skill usage, HP healing, Brave Regen, and HP regen. She is a support unit that could fit into numerous team comps without the worry of building around her. Sabin, on the other hand, while he did get a massive upgrade from both his rework and EX weapon, has one glaring issue, which is consuming his stacks of powers unleashed. Obviously, you want Sabin to continuously use the plus variants of his abilities, but the fact that he has to constantly rebuild his stacks lowers his value as a damage dealer for Chaos. I will say that giving him Wind and Holy Imperil and Self-Enchant also makes him less niche, especially when they retweak the Imperil mechanic in Opera Omnia. If you decide to pull on this banner, aim to get Rosa's gear, as her versatility as a support is extremely valuable during this Chaos era. Sabin, while Chaos viable, can be skipped if you already have powerful damage dealing units. Should you decide to pass on this banner entirely, Rosa's EX does come back on the Phoenix Dungeon event banner and the Alexander Ultimate Summon banner. Sabin's EX, on the other hand, comes back on the Diabolos Ultimate Summon banner. Our last topic is going to be the Chaos boss fight against the returning pair of Crust Beetles. They are both weak to wind and holy elements and are immune to paralysis and confusion. You will want to specifically watch out for their hatred power ability, indicated by a red aura surrounding them. While this is active, anytime they break any of your characters, they will automatically follow up with a single target HP attack that will likely KO that character. While Rosa's re-raise can fix this, be mindful that the KO will still hurt your score. They also cleanse any type of debuffs on them when they use hatred power. Aside from Rosa or Sabin, you can opt to bring characters who can mitigate the amount of HP damage you receive, such as Porom, Bosch, and Kamari. Because they do not resist any type of brave attacks or other elements, any of the current hard-hitting characters such as Ultimisia, Tifa, or whoever else you might have fully realized can be optimal for this fight. Again, just make sure to keep everyone's brave topped off during the hatred power phase to avoid getting any of your party members KO'd. Hopefully this video helps you guys out in preparing for the upcoming Rosa Lost chapters in Global Opera Omnia. This is 40 the Broadway Saiyan, signing out. Mahal, everyone.